Hello and welcome back to another episode of Adventures in Model Railroading. Today we will finish putting down the track for our project layout. Now I have to cut some curved track to get sizes that are not available. Mainly I need a 17 degree and a 32 degree curved pieces, and the only way to do that is to take a Rokuhan R014, which is a 245 millimeter 30 degrees piece, and in one case I will cut it down, and in the other case I will have to stretch it. Now what I have here is a little chart, full-size printout from any rail showing the amount of curvature that I need. Now the first thing I'm going to want to do is take off the rail joiners. And I'm going to go ahead and take off of both pieces. And that one landed in the gap. There we go. Okay. Now, when cutting sectional track with the built-in road bed, one of the things you want to do is make your cuts straight across, and since we have a road bed joiner system here, I would like to keep the ends. So we will have to make several cuts here. First one, we will go ahead and remove one of the ends. Just barely. There we go. And to do this, I will cut straight across the piece, keeping as parallel as possible to the little squares in the back of the road bed. Okay. And just slides right off, straight across. Now I need to make at least one more cut, and I'm going to have to do that at the halfway point because there are two little studs that are welded, tack welded or something to the bottom of the rail that fit into a couple of the holes, and they lock the track in place. Now since I'm going to a 17 degree, and I have this piece here to tack on, I do believe that it's going to come closer past it. Probably should have done this more, but we go. I have to play with that a bit. Now I just eyeball it in there and try to cut it a little bit long because I can file it down. Make a mark on the road bed, and it's going to cut it short. So okay. Okay. Now we've got our road bed freed, and we'll take a look at it. Ooh, nice and long. Okay, I'll trim that up in a bit. Okay, next step I'm going to do is free the rails up. I'm going to have to come in and nibble away or something, or cut the studs free so I can slide the rails out. I'll be right back. Alright, and we're back. Went ahead and got the rails freed up, and I took advantage of the opportunity and shortened up the road bed. So we now have a 17 degree, 245 millimeter radius piece. Now before I glue it together, I'm going to want to put these rails in so that they will hold the pieces in line. Now the reason why these are difficult to remove intact is this stud here. There's a little stud. It's very tiny, but it's what locks the rails in place. Now the rails are different radius lengths. One obviously goes on the outside, the other goes on the inside. Now I neglected to mention the reason why we have to do this, and that's because the Rokuhan geometry is based on 30 degree and 45 degree segments, with the exception of their turnouts, which are 13. They also have a 490 millimeter radius piece that is 13 degrees, and it's the complement to the turnout, to the diverging route of the turnout. Okay, so for us to get back to our geometry of 30 and 45 degrees, I have to custom cut parts. And 17 degrees, when coupled with a turnout, will give me a 30-degree radius turn. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm trying to open up the squares underneath so I can take the rail, slide it in, and lock it. Now I don't want to force too hard. This rail is easy to bend. And we will close this side up when I put the other piece on. And it is a bit fiddly. That's one. We'll slide the other one in. Like that. Now it's locked in. And we'll slide the other piece in. Now these rails are the correct radius. So all I need to do now, slide it on, much like the working with the flex track. And then take my model cement, my plastic cement here, put it on the joint, squeeze it together, and let it set for a few minutes and set it aside while it dries. Once it's dry, just like the flex track, we cut the ends off, we clean them up, reinstall the rail joiners. It's ready to go. Now for the 32, we'll take our piece here and see that we need just a little bit more. I'm going to salvage it from the leftovers from this piece. Now ideally, if I have to cut a 32 in some of the other some of the smaller radiuses, there may be a 45-degree angle that I can cut down and not have to bother with stretching. Now what I want to do here is cut it in half right there, and ideally free up the rails so that we can use the rails themselves as a form of guide when we're gluing the pieces together. Now I'm going to go off camera and do the cut. Be back shortly. And I'm back. Now I went ahead, freed up the rails, cleaned up the ends, and cut a small piece for the center there. Got it all sized up. Just about ready to reassemble it, the road bed. But the first thing I need to do is clean up my rails. I still have the stud that they put on there to lock it in place. I want to remove that so it will slide right straight along. Now I've cut through when I was separating the two halves, and that's going to help a little bit. Okay. Okay. I'm going to run my finger on there, see if I need to work on the sides a bit, the base. Basically just file them smooth. I can feel it, so it needs it. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and work on that. Be back in a moment. Alright, and that's done. I've smoothed the rails. They're going to slide right through. And what you want to do is just start at one end. A lot like working with the flex track, just slide them through. The difference here is what you want to do is slide them through so that they're far enough through that everything's going to line up correctly. Like that. Okay. Now, flip it over and we'll take some cement. And if it seems like I'm going heavy-handed, I really want to get a good bonding. I'll do that and I'll push it together. That. Now, I'm going to set this aside and let it dry completely before I put the final rails in, which are these. They're from a flex track kit. R016, they were the excess rails. And the reason why I didn't use them is that they're sprung. They're not, or straight, and they're going to naturally try to, when you curve them, they're going to want to go straight. So I want this well and truly glued before I put those in. Set that off to the side, bring back the first one. Okay, It's had a chance to dry for a bit. Let's go ahead and trim the rails, clean them up. Okay. I'm trying to trap the rail so it doesn't go flying like that. There we go. I'm using the older ones. They seem to actually leave less to be cleaned up. Now they're cut the length. Now we got to clean them up. And the most obvious spot is the top of the rail here. I like to put a slight bevel on it. That knock off the little bit that I can actually feel, see and feel. Now it's time to break out the little files, work the web of the rail, base, and make it so it's rail joiners slip on nice and easy. So I'll be back once I'm done with that. Okay, back. I've got it finished, and here's the final product. All that remains for this piece is to install it. I still need to finish this one up. And then we'll put the track in. Like I said, I'm going to let this one dry. I'm going to go ahead and put this in, and build up as much of the track as I can. So it's off to the layout. I'll see you there. Okay, I'm back. And our one piece is right here. And I've installed the rest of the track all the way around to here, which is our piece that I'm currently working on. Well, that's about all I'm going to have for this episode. I'll finish that piece off and install it later once I'm sure it is completely dry. If you stayed with me this long, I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. And as always, like, subscribe, and share. Thank you. If you're still watching this video, I greatly appreciate it. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. If you want to see more of my videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Ventures in Model Railroading. To receive notifications when I upload new videos, please ring the bell. Please feel free to share. And as always, thank you for watching.